The Docker ecosystem is comprised of several key components that work together seamlessly. At its core is the Docker daemon, which is the persistent background process that manages Docker objects, like images, containers, networks, and volumes. You interact with the daemon through the Docker client, typically a command line interface. This client communicates with the daemon using REST APIs. Docker images are the read-only templates used to create containers, essentially the blueprints. And finally, Docker registries, like Docker Hub, are central repositories where Docker images are stored, retrieved, and shared. Understanding how these components interact is fundamental to leveraging Docker effectively for building and deploying applications. Docker images are the fundamental building blocks of Docker. They are read-only templates that contain everything needed to run an application, including the application code, libraries, dependencies, and configurations. Images are built in layers, which makes them incredibly efficient, as layers can be reused and shared across multiple images. The process of creating these images is defined in a Docker file. A Docker file is a simple text document that contains a series of instructions that Docker reads to automate the image creation process. It ensures that builds are reproducible and consistent, allowing developers to define their application environment once and replicate it anywhere. This declarative approach simplifies version control and collaboration. While Docker images are the blueprints, Docker containers are the actual runtime instances of those images. When you run a Docker image, you create a container. This container is an isolated environment, meaning it has its own file system, network stack, and process space, completely isolated from the host system and other containers. This isolation prevents conflicts between applications and ensures consistency. Containers are also highly portable. An application packaged in a container will run identically across any Docker-enabled environment. They can be started, stopped, paused, or removed with simple commands, providing incredible flexibility and control over your application's lifecycle. This is where your applications come to life.